evening to all of you, and thanks for joining this Q3 FY20 earnings call for Cupid Limited. We have mailed the results press release to you. I hope you have received the same, and we have also uploaded this on our website and the stock exchange. To discuss the results and address the queries of the investors, we have with us Mr. Om Garg, Chairman and Managing Director of the company. Mr. Garg will give a brief overview of the quarter gone past, and then we will open the floor over to Q&A session. I would like to remind you that everything said on this call that reflects any outlook for the future or which can be construed as a forward-looking statement must be viewed in conjunction with the uncertainties and the risks that we face. These uncertainties and risks are included but not limited to what we have mentioned in the prospectus filed with SEBI and subsequent annual reports which you can find on the website. With that said, let me hand over the call over to Mr. Garg. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Binay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Cupid Limited, I would like to welcome you all for attending the Q3 FY20 earnings call today. As Binay has mentioned, we hope that you have seen the press release which was posted on Saturday evening. So I will not go into the details of the numbers, except to say that this third quarter was a very remunerative quarter for Cupid Limited, with top line of about 43 CR and the profit after tax of 10.21 CR. As compared to the same quarter a year ago, where the top line was about 10 CR and the bottom line was just over 2 CR. Now, in terms of the order book, we have a very healthy order book for a total of 160 crore worth of orders, including 88 CR of confirmed orders and 72 CR of orders in the pipeline. We plan to dispatch the maximum possible during the fourth quarter until March 31st, 2020. In terms of the future prospects for business, we are looking at the same level of performance in quarter 4 as we have done it in quarter 3. And the fact that the demand for condoms is increasing due to the prevention of unintended pregnancies, and also to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, including HIV, the prospects for a company like Cupid going forward is quite bright. And looking at the future, we are constantly trying to improve our order book further, and also trying to expand our business into new geographies throughout the world. With these initial comments, now I would like to open the conference for Q&A.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Devrat Himbat Singha from Jet 8 Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Congratulations on a great set of numbers. I just wanted to understand one thing. I noticed that, your raw material costs have gone up significantly if we look at quarter on quarter, and hence your margins have come down. Can you please throw some light on that?
Yes. The reason that the raw material costs have gone up in the third quarter as compared to second quarter is that we dispatched more male condoms than female condoms. And as you are aware, the margin is much higher in the female condom sales than in the male.
So, sir, as of today, I mean, if we are looking at Q4, what we are going to be dispatching in Q4 is male condoms, so we can expect the margins to be around in line in Q4?
No, we are hoping that the mix of male to female condoms in the fourth quarter will be better than what we have done in the third quarter. In other words, the profitability should improve in proportion to the increased amount of female condom.
And another thing I noticed was that the finance costs have gone up. Also, they've doubled in, say, the quarter. And could you also throw some light on that? I know it's a very small number, it's insignificant, but still, I would like to know why this is happening.
Yeah. The reason for this increase in the finance cost is that due to the Brazil orders, where the payment terms are over 90 days, we need more working capital. And we are financing this against our FDs and our mutual funds. We pay an interest of about 3%.
Okay, that's it from my side, sir. Thank you so much. Congratulations on a great set of numbers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Garg, congratulations on the wonderful progress that you have made. I'm very happy to see that you are running the company and doing so well. The question I have relates to the kind of orders that we get. Most of them are related to United Nations, WHO, and other such bodies. I'm not using the correct names, but bodies that have to do with countries and companies and charity organizations that are doing a lot of good work in Africa and such other countries. Do you see this trend continuing and increasing, or do you feel that with people like Trump in office, there would be less funding for United Nations and such organizations? And also tell us about the new geographies that you mentioned that you're going into, and who would be funding these new geographies? And my last question has to do is with all these new estimates and new markets that we are going into, in the next fiscal year, do you see 10-20% growth, or do you see almost a doubling of volumes, or how do you see these new markets coming up?
Okay. First of all, the international orders, they come from 4 different sources of funding. Number one is the WHO and UNFPA, which is the United Nations Population Fund. And their financial contribution is coming from different international donors and also some of the national governments. The other major source for orders are the tenders floated by large buyers from countries like Brazil, South Africa, Tanzania, and India. The third set of customers we have are the international NGOs who have their own funding to procure the condoms, and then they distribute into different parts of the world. And finally, we do have a group of customers in the private sector who order their requirements from Cupid. Now, the trend we see is an uptick in overall funding for the procurement of condoms going forward. So, for the next year, we see a growth of at least 15% from the FY20 numbers. And it could be even more depending on what other new financing may be available worldwide.
All right. You had mentioned the 4 different types of customers. And one of them you mentioned is that there are tenders floated by different countries. So are these country tenders financed by the government? Are they the people who are funding this?
It's a mixed situation. For example, in case of Brazil, part of the funding is coming from the international donors and part is from their national government. However, in case of South Africa, 100% of the financing is coming from their own resources. Tanzania is a donor funding situation, and India is mostly funded by their own budget for the Department of Health.
I see. All right. Well, thank you again. And again, I'm very happy that you're running the company and very proud and happy to see the work you've done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankit Gupta from Bamboo Capital Partners. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, sir, and congratulations on good set of numbers. Sir, just wanted to understand this, we have tentative orders of close to 72 crores with us. So can you tell us, when are they expected to get confirmed? Are these orders awarded to us or, these are in the tender pipeline?
No, these are the orders which have been assigned to us. However, the purchase orders have not yet been issued.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, because as per the last quarter's press release, we had close to 120 crores of orders in hand, confirmed orders in hand. And as per the Q3 press release, we have close to 160 crores worth of orders in hand. So does it mean that we have received 80 crores worth of new orders in this quarter? And if yes, from which countries have we received it?
No, going back to the numbers, we had 123 crores worth of confirmed orders at the last quarter, and we also had 50 crores of orders in pipeline, bringing the total to 173, less 43 crores worth of orders, which we have dispatched during this quarter. So it leaves about 130 crores backlog, and we have received additional orders worth 30 crores during this quarter, making it a total of 160 crores.
Okay. So, can you give us the split of these new orders that you have received of 30 crores? Out of that, how much was from female, how much is of female condom and how much is of male condom, the proportion between the two?
It was about 50-50. Half of it is for female and other half is for male condom.
Okay. And from which countries have we received it?
Male condom orders are from South Africa, and female condom orders are also from South Africa during this quarter.
Okay. And so, coming back to our orders, from the new orders which were supposed to be assigned after completion of this South African, from the Brazilian orders. So can you tell us what is the status of the floating of the new orders from the Brazilian government, which I think was supposed to come in after March, April 2020?
Yeah, they are still expecting to float the new tender somewhere around April and May 2020.
Okay. Okay. And what will be the size of this order? Tentative size?
We really don't know. It would depend on their final budgetary allocation. But we are assuming that it would be about the same level as the last tender, which was a total of 120 crores.
Okay. And sir, any update on the South African female condom orders which were also supposed to be floated next year, after March, April 2020?
The second year allocation for the South African 3-year tender has been delayed, and now it is expected to be announced in February or early March.
Next year is what you are saying? Or this year?
No, this year.
Okay. So once we receive the orders, when are the dispatch expected for these orders? Will they be in FY21?
Yes, they would the deliveries would start most likely from July of 2020 and continue for next 12 months.
Okay. And what is the expected size of this new orders?
The order for male condoms is about 1 billion pieces of male condoms, same as last year, and also 40 million pieces of female condoms.
Sure. And in terms of value, how much will that be for male and female?
In terms of female condom, it's about 80 crores.
Sure.
For female condoms. And in terms of male condoms, they have 3 or 4 specifications, but basically it's about 700 crores.
Sure.
Total 1 billion pieces.
Okay. And so basically next year what you are expecting is that majority of the orders will be received from South Africa and Brazil.
As far as we know now, but during the year, orders continue to come from WHO, UNFPA, although in smaller quantities, and also the new tenders from countries like Tanzania and India and Kenya.
Okay. So the top line growth guidance of 15% that you're giving for next year FY21 is primarily based on the expectations of getting orders from these 2 countries and some new orders which will come in.
Yes, primarily yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Omkar Kulkarni, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congrats on the good set of results. My question was regarding out of this 160 crores of orders, can you split how much is female and how much is male?
78 crores worth of these orders are female, and 82 crores worth of orders are for male condoms.
So basically it's almost 50-50.
Correct.
Okay. And the next question is, you have visibility for, say, for the next quarter or for the next year, but what would be how can you sustain the performance of the company if you dependent too much on the institutional orders or from the government orders? How will you scale up this revenue of yours and proportionately the profits?
Primarily, it would come from increased sales of female condoms. And these institutions I mentioned, they are the largest buyers of these condoms. So we are hoping that the revenue and profits would improve with more orders for female condoms going forward beyond 2021.
Okay, and what is the status on US, sir? I mean, where it is, what is currently happening, filing and completion of everything, documents and all?
We have filed our initial application with US FDA. However, the efficacy study, which is to prove the safety of female condoms, which is currently being done in South Africa, those results will be out by the end of this year, which would be then submitted to US FDA.
Okay.
We are hoping that in the first quarter of next year, we should hear from US FDA.
So the earliest you can start the sales for US is like from second half of FY21.
No, correct.
Okay, so that will be second half of FY20. Okay, and one more request from my side. Whenever you get orders, so it would be great if you could submit those to the stock exchanges so we can be updated what's going on and how much orders are you receiving.
Yeah, actually for all the major orders like over 25 CR, we are regularly making the announcements on the BSC and NSC. Only for the smaller orders like 4, 5, 7 CR, we usually don't make special announcements.
No, but if you can make that, it would be great. I mean, it depends on you, but I would request you to do that if it is possible.
No, we could certainly do that.
Okay. Okay, and apart from Brazil and South Africa, is there any other big market, I mean, leave aside US, from where you can get government orders, like chunky sizes of government orders, just like you are receiving from Africa and Brazil?
Yeah, from besides South Africa, large tenders are expected from other countries in Africa, like Uganda, Kenya, and Nigeria.
Okay, but like, is there anything in the pipeline they are considering it? What is the status on that? And how much big it could be? Is it as big as Africa or Brazil, or what would be the number for that?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have the size of the tender they would be coming out with, but they have sent some feelers about the pricing we could be considering quoting. So it's difficult to quantify the size of these orders. Really, we have to wait till they are published.
No, but is the opportunity size big enough as Africa, or what is like that? What is like?
No,
it is.
No, it would be at maximum. It would be 50% of the level of South Africa.
Okay, all the countries which you have mentioned.
Yes, all the three.
Okay. And the last question is regarding the short-term borrowings taken against your FDs and all, and the debt which is incurring in your books. So do you plan to repay it after the financial year completes? Because you will be having a bigger amount of cash at that point of time. With the kind of results you are posting in Q3 and Q4, it will be.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as we start to get our receivables paid, we would be paying off all these temporary loans, and as you have indicated, we would end up with a surplus at the year end on March 31st.
So you intend to remain a cash-rich and debt-free company?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dinesh Saria, an individual investor. Please go ahead. Dinesh, your line is in the talk mode. Please go ahead. As there's no response from the current participant, we'll move on to the next. That is on the line of Keshav Garg from Counter Cyclical Investments Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Sir, so since the past 2 quarters, we are doing over 40 crore sales per quarter. So do you expect that from now onwards, we will remain over 40 crore per quarter for the foreseeable future? Or is this, dependent upon orders and it might decline also?
No, based on the order book we have, we can expect to repeat the next 3 quarters at 40 CR per quarter. So by the second quarter of FY21, we can expect to project the same level of activity.
Okay, sir, and how much, like we are doing some 43, 44 crore, the maximum that we have ever done. Sir, so how much can it go further per quarter? Like, can it, is this the upper limit 43 crore that we did last quarter, or we can do, let's say, 50 crore also in 1 quarter?
No, if we are able to secure more orders for female condoms, we can easily go to 50-55 CR.
So basically 55 crore is the upper range per quarter.
Again, it depends on the percentage mix of between male and female condoms.
Sir, so I'm saying provided we have orders, then what is the maximum turnover that we can generate which our infrastructure and capacity allows us? What is that figure?
Okay, in an extreme case, if we assume that 100% of the product is female condoms, which could be about 200 million pieces, provided we have the orders, then the turnover could be as high as 400 crores. But this situation is highly unlikely because the practical situation is that there is more demand for male condoms as well.
Sir, and our capacity is interchangeable between male and female condoms?
Correct. Yes.
And so this 400 crore, you are saying in 1 quarter we can do provided we have 100% female condom orders?
No, 400 in the whole year.
Okay. So 100 crore per quarter we can do maximum.
Yes, with the current installed capacity. Okay,
sir. Sir, and also, sir, what's the realization per male condom and per female condom?
Male condom is about 2 rupees a piece, and for female condom, it's about 21 rupees a piece.
Okay, sir. Sir, and also, sir, we have done a lot of work in registration in Brazil and other countries in which we have incurred some significant expense also. Sir, so is there any other significant geography like Japan, Russia, Southeast Asia, where we can apply, get registered, so that we can get insulated from this volatility that maybe if some major country, Brazil or South Africa, orders get delayed, then, to just insulate ourselves from this volatility. Sir, can we do anything more?
Yes. Out of all the geographies you have mentioned, there are good prospects in Russia and also in the Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS, ex-Russian countries in the Central Asia. And we are in the process of registering our products in these geographies as well. Other countries, they do not seem to have a big demand as compared to, say, South Africa and Brazil.
Okay. So basically for the foreseeable future, our major orders are expected from Brazil and from Africa only.
Yes, immediately I would say these are the 2 best sources.
Sir, so like from CIS countries and Russia, so from when can we realistically expect revenues to start coming in?
We are already supplying male and female condoms to these geographies as well, although on a smaller scale. So we are hoping that these quantities will increase going forward.
Sir, and also, sir, there are so many private companies like, for example, Mankind Pharma. I assume that they are outsourcing condoms and they are doing branding and just selling through the network. So, can't we apply to private companies also?
Yes, but you mentioned Mankind. First of all, they do not have female condoms. There are only three companies in the world which have been approved by the WHO to supply female condoms. The other situation is that, as far as we are aware, Mankind is not exporting. They have done some export to Nepal and Bangladesh.
Sir, so at least male condoms we can, contract manufacture for them since they are anyway sourcing from somewhere. No,
they now have their own production facilities. They used to outsource.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Sir, so basically all the B2C condom companies, those who are selling branded condoms, they have their own in-house manufacturing?
No, 3 or 4 of them do, not all.
Sir, so why aren't we supplying to those who are outsourcing, those who don't have in-house manufacturing?
No, some of them are doing that.
Sir, so we are supplying to such private companies also?
In India, very little, because the margins are much lower in India as compared to exports. So we are more inclined to get orders for export rather than supply domestically.
Okay, sir. And sir, so is there any headway in your search for a CEO?
We are still continuing to look for one, but unfortunately, no success as yet.
Okay, sir. And so finally, sir, last Concall also we discussed at length, sir, that a share buyback is much more tax efficient than a dividend, and also, sir, the benefits of share buyback are permanent, whereas dividend, once you give, it goes out of the company. Sir, so please think on those lines and please do a share buyback.
Yes. No, it's always under our radar, and the board will take a call at the appropriate time.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ajit Murur, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. A good set of numbers. Congratulations. I wanted to ask about your capacity utilization. What is the capacity utilization in terms of percentage that you are running at currently?
We are very close to 99% capacity utilization during the third quarter.
Okay. So which means there is, unless you change the product mix, which you just talked about, that if there are more female condoms, then your turnover can go up. Unless that happens, you are running to your maximum capacity.
Yes, right now with the current mix between the male and female condom.
Okay. So do you have any plans for capacity expansion? Because you have about 160 crores worth of orders. And is there a monthly schedule for these orders that you can only supply so many or so much worth of orders? Or you can even supply more?
No, our capacity is over 400 million pieces per year of male condoms and 52 million pieces of female condoms. We can switch, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, between male and female condoms using the same machinery.
Mm-hmm.
So maximum we can do is 35 million pieces of male condoms and about 25 million pieces of female condoms.
This is per month?
Right.
Okay, sir. And another important question, since most of your orders are from, Brazil and South Africa, you're dependent on these two countries. So how do you ensure that, your quality control is of the highest order and there are no rejects? And are those, the quality of the products that you send to these countries, is that checked by those the customers in India, or once it reaches there, they check it and they decide whether the goods are worthy or not?
Okay. With each of the order, these countries, they give us a specifications to which we have to do the production. And once we are ready with the products, they would have us send selected samples for quality checks into one of the 3 international labs. And once those results are approved, then we send it to the buyer for their final permission to dispatch the goods.
Okay. So it's not possible that entire month's production is at a risk, or you have already produced it and it could be at a risk of getting rejected.
No, I don't think so. It's
okay.
The quality is monitored. Yeah.
Surely. If you have, I've seen your track record. You have grown quite consistently. So that shows that you have a good set of quality control procedures and so on. But it was just a concern. The other concern always is on, the receivables, especially for the export exporters. Getting money in hand, realization is a challenge. So how do you manage that? Are we comfortable? Is Cupid comfortable in terms of getting money in, on time from its vendors, from its suppliers, customers?
In large part, over the last 6 years, we have been consistently collecting the receivables within the prescribed period, usually 30 to 60 days. Now, in case of Brazil, because it was a big order, and also the transportation time and the clearance time itself is about 45 to 60 days before the goods arrive at the government warehouses, they have negotiated a 90 days period for payment. But even from Brazil, so far we are very much up to date on the payments.
Okay, good. So one final question, sir, which I think a couple of other people have also talked about. Considering the entire scenario that you have, the business scenario, your products are well accepted. There is not, there is no quality control issue or rejects so far. Your payments are in time. Considering all this, this is a great business that you are into, and congratulations for being in such a good business and driving Cupid towards greater heights. But if you look at the share price, PE is the measure that people look at. It's only about 10 to 12, and for such a good business, it should be much more. So there should be some push that you need to do, with some investors, maybe the mutual funds and so on, so that they can start buying and the price can appreciate much more.
No, I agree with your suggestion and thoughts. And if you have a specific action plan, we would like to know about it and try to work on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, sir. Maybe I'll write to you about this separately.
That would be really helpful. We would appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And congratulations once again for a good set of numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Ajay Sharma from Psychis Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I've been a shareholder of the company now for a few years, and it's good to see that the market is giving a bit more attention to the company. I just had a few questions about some long-running initiatives that you've been talking about. Are there any new updates on the product mix?
In terms of?
In terms of the benzene wipes or the other contraceptive methods that you've been talking about for a few quarters now?
Yes. What we are hoping is that the demand for female condoms would be greater than the rate at which we have been experiencing the demand in the market.
All right. So what about the new product categories like the benzene wipes that we were talking about maybe 1 year back or so?
Yeah, we are progressing rather slowly on those other products. We have come up with the water-based lubricant jelly and also hand sanitizer. And this year we have launched a hair remover cream, but some of the other products are still in the pipeline.
Okay, so do you have any targets, any sales targets for these products? Because the hand sanitizer is still about 2% of your revenue, right? And it has been at 2% for a long time.
Yes, the targets are not exactly set up because we have not done a detailed marketing survey on these products, both in the Indian market as well as potential for export.
Okay. And do you have any updates on the B2C business?
No, we tried that a couple of years back, but the expense involved in the advertisement, both print and electronic, does not justify the launching of the product. The payback is not there in the domestic market as yet.
I see. So that initiative is off the table for now. It's not a focus.
Immediately, yes, but I think eventually we would resume that. I'm hoping within a year.
Okay, all right. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mukesh Roy, and retail investor. Please go ahead. Mukesh, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead. As there's no response from the current participant, we'll move on to the next. That is on the line of Subbu Murugesan, a retail investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. So congratulations on the good set of numbers.
Thank you.
One of the questions I had was, you said that you got orders from South Africa of 30 CR, and I'm just a bit confused because I thought the South African tender was delayed. The last time you said that they will come out by end of November, and now it's you said February or March. So basically two questions on this. So like, how did we get an order when the tender was delayed, and also why is the tender being delayed? Is that because of some funding issues? Because a couple of years back you said South African government had some funding issues. So do you think this could be a repeat of that?
So far, there is no indication that it is a funding issue. The reason for delay, as we understand, is that the manufacturers who had promised to deliver, especially male condoms, they are far behind in their commitments. So the government is reluctant to issue new orders to those parties who have not fulfilled their last year's obligation. One reason we received this order from our existing partners is because we have been up to date in our commitments in terms of supplying to the government. So the reason for delay is basically the government is trying to figure out how much more quantity should be allocated in the second year. And because of Christmas and New Year, they lost about a month, and now they are saying it could be announced in early February.
Okay, and if it's announced in early February, when will the result? So basically, when will we know the result? How much you have received? Would it be sometime end of March or?
I'm hoping it would be sometime in February. I would say early February.
Okay, so basically they will announce how much Cupid has got in early February itself.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the status on the local manufacturing? Like last year or 18 months back, you had mentioned that the South African government wants to promote their local production. So there was talk about a joint venture, but Cupid decided not to participate because we did not think that there was sufficient business. So has the government gone ahead with the plan with a different partner and is still keen on doing domestic manufacturing, or I just want to understand what's the latest on that.
No, the government is still very keen to get the domestic manufacturing going on. And with the new partner, we are in contact with the government to get permission to set up a unit initially to start manufacturing female condoms and eventually into male condoms as well. So the project is still alive, but the economics were not there to justify the investments last year. Now the government is rethinking some of their strategy and some of their targets for local manufactured goods.
Okay. Sir, it looks like you've been, because of the good set of numbers you've been posting, looks like you've got a significant amount of cash. Do you have a plan as of yet on what you plan to do with the cash? Would you be giving dividends or share buybacks or maybe pursue an acquisition? Would you increase your dividend payout? Or I just wanted to know what are your thoughts on the cash balance that should be good by the end of this year?
No, you are correct. We do have about 47 CR in cash or cash equivalent. We have considered, of course, dividend distribution, which normally we do it twice a year, interim dividend and the final dividends after the March results. And we also have been considering acquisition in a related field, related to women's health and wellness. But nothing concrete has been planned yet. We are always looking at at different possibilities.
Okay, and one question on the Brazilian order. So we are expecting some news on this in April or May. And last year we managed to get a very good order size from Brazil. So basically, how do you consider our chances this time? Do you think they are better because we have a track record and we have delivered on time and probably our quality is also good, or do you think that because we got such a large size last time, we would face more competition from female health company this time, and maybe there's a chance we would get a lower size this time because of increased competition?
Yeah. I think you have rightly pointed out that based on last year's setback for the competition, they would be more vigilant and active in their quotation. However, we are also prepared to compete for the business, and right now I would say that we have a good chance to get at least the 50% of the allocation.
Okay, that's good news, sir. And on the South African tender side, you said 80 crores was for female and like 700 crores for the male. Is that correct? So like 700, did I hear correctly?
Yes, this is the approximate number for 1 billion pieces of male condoms.
And like this is per year, right? Both numbers?
Per year,
80
yes.
and 700 per year. So based on your assessment for the South African, I think last time we did not get a good order from South Africa because at the time of the tender, you said we wanted to focus on the domestic manufacturing, which you thought was more lucrative. This time, how do you see this tender panning out? So, what are our chances?
We are hoping to improve our score in this year's allocation, although we are still quite interested to pursue the local manufacturing option as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ayush Mittal from Mittal Investments. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Most of my questions have been answered, and congratulations on a good performance. Just to carry forward the discussion on the competitive landscape, can you educate us more about the same? We read that there's quite a bit of pricing pressure, which was mentioned by the leading competitor that we have.
Yeah. Let's divide this topic into two different categories. As far as male condoms are concerned, there are about 25 manufacturing facilities all over the world, mostly in China, Thailand, Malaysia, and India. And although the demand is higher for male condoms, but so is the competition. And some of the larger manufacturers, they have capacity of 1.5 to 2 billion pieces per year. So I would say that in terms of male condoms, the supply is available, but because of the competition, the margins are not that great. It's 10 to 15% EBITDA. In some special situation, maybe maximum 20%. Now, in terms of female condoms, like I mentioned, there are only 3 manufacturers who have been approved by WHO. So the competition is limited. But in case of female condoms, the female health company, who have had the monopoly since 1993 until Cupid came on the scene in July 2012. So they are still our competitor. I would say that the scope in female condom, both top and bottom line, is far greater. And we are trying to develop some new models, new prototypes, so that we can continue to have a good chunk of the worldwide orders available to Cupid.
Any new competitors that you have seen on the female condom side?
Not really. Usually the WHO, they would make announcements and they ask for comments from interested parties, but we haven't seen any new manufacturer on the horizon. In fact, one of the Chinese manufacturers have shut down their shop because their production cost was higher than what they could sell it for in the market.
Okay, so this is a bit surprising also, because when we read about the US leading company which has been into this space, they have been giving away the orders and they complain about lower pricing and they are not making profit. Now, you're also saying that the Chinese company is also not making profit and they have shut down the operation. And while we are making kind of 30-40% margin. So this is something kind of strange. At the same time, really good for us. What could be the key reason for this starking difference?
The main reason is that, first of all, our design of the female condom is very unique. It is much different than the female health company, who were the pioneer in the field. And our cost of production is much more attractive than the competition, including the female health company. So that is why we have a wider margin.
Okay. So with our kind of models, have others tried to file the same kind of, replicate the same kind of model and save costs and get it approved?
It's a 3-year process. By the time you come up with a new model, you make it, you test it, you send it for clinical trial, you get all the technical evaluation. It takes 2.5 to 3 years.
Got it. But nothing as of now that you see that others are trying to do something similar or are getting approved?
Not that we know of, but you never know. There are a lot of researchers working on this type of projects around the world.
Great, sir. That was very helpful. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Gaurav Shah from Kotak Mahindra Bank. Please go ahead.
Question was very it's on the fact that how do you foresee your expansion of your brand?
Mr. Shah, sir, we are not able to hear you clearly. Can you use the handset mode while speaking?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, my question is very clear. It's on the basis of the ability to expand and scale the business in terms of your own brand, which you mentioned that you just had taken back the project or idea. How do you foresee in the next 15-20 years that coming up?
It's hard to predict what the scenario would look like 15 to 20 years down the line, both in terms of what the demand of the product, the designs and utility would be like, and also the amount of R&D expenditure it takes and the commitment. I don't think any of the existing manufacturers have thought of or planned on that long range level. Like we look at normally up to 5 years, but going beyond 10 to 15 years is really difficult to predict.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Siddharth Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Garg. I had 2 questions. One related to the expansion. People were talking about that, but I think the conversation never completed. Do you have any immediate expansion plans and roughly how much of the capacity? And the second question had to do with our doing a lot of exports. And we have been lucky in collecting a lot properly and more or less on time. But do you have any ECGC cover or insurance cover? Have you looked at it from time to time? And is it worth spending that 1% or whatever they charge to secure our receivables there? And the last question, actually not a question, just a comment. I think some people have asked about having a CEO and all that. I would think that always having you there is a wonderful choice, and I would
sorry to interrupt, Mr. Mehta. Sir, your voice is breaking up.
Okay, so the last point was relating to a CEO. You've been looking for a CEO, but I have always been of the opinion that it is better that you continue with it because I think you have a very good grip on it. You have a very good sense of practicality and vision on this, which a professional CEO may or may not have. So I would be happy if you continued and with this company. And the last thought is on an acquisition. Can we get any acquisition where the company has an established brand where they have already spent money to establish their brand, but for whatever reason, the company is not doing well or are unable to make money in this business, that kind of an acquisition might be very interesting for us.
Yeah. So let me comment on your last question first. We are indeed looking for such a situation you have just described, but unfortunately, we have not been able to locate a proposition along those lines. In terms of the expansion plan, we just completed a 40% increase in production at the end of March 19, and depending on how the demand scenario shapes up, right now, for at least 1 year, we don't have any plans to expand further. However, if the market situation changes, we would certainly consider going for second expansion so that we can serve our customers.
All right. And on the ECGC cover, have you considered that, or do you already take that?
We have not taken that. However, we have a product liability insurance, and also in terms of our receivables, in answer to one of the earlier questions, we really haven't had any bad debts at all.
All right. So you would, okay. But do keep this at the back of your mind. I think the government ECGC company charges, I think 1% or something like that, and they are set up only to help exporters and make sure that there is never any unforeseen event. If the order is large, that might be a hit for the company. That's why I was suggesting.
No, I think it's an excellent suggestion, and we would certainly consider for a big size order. It's 1 to 2% is worth it to have that insurance cover.
Yes, and they're a government organization just set up only for this. They're not sort of money-minded or anything like that to make money on this. And the last question is, yes, please continue. Please do continue. Till you are continuing, we have 100% full faith in the company.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhiral Shah from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir, and thanks for the opportunity. So you just said that there are 3 companies which are being approved by WHO for female condoms. So how big in the size, sir?
I'm sorry?
You said there are 3 companies which are being approved by WHO with respect to the female condoms. So how big are in their size?
The 3 companies are, number one, female health company with their plant in Malaysia, a U.S. company. Second one is Cupid, and third one is Hindustan Latex, a Government of India company based in Kerala.
Okay, and so what would be the overall market size of female condom?
Overall market is about 80 to 100 million pieces per year. Again, depending on the funding availability.
Okay, and these 3 companies, together, what would be the capacity of these 3 companies? Just what capacity, demand and supply scenario.
Yeah, a female health company, they claim that they have capacity up to 100 million. Cupid currently has 52 million per year capacity, and if we do receive the orders, we could expand that by reducing our male condom capacity and converting it into female. And on HLL capacity, I am not sure, but I think they could be around 20 million pieces for sure per year.
Okay. And so when it comes to the, Brazil part, so what would be the overall, budget size for this condom?
Actually, each year it varies. Last year, the male condoms, they had 700 million pieces of order for the male condoms, and for female, they had 34 million pieces, out of which Cupid got 29 and Female Health Company got the remaining 5 million pieces.
Okay, so our share of business with respect to South Africa would be 50%, and in Brazil also it would be more than 50%?
Yes, based on last year's results, we were actually 75% in Brazil for female condoms, and in South Africa, we are about 35% of the market, based on last year's results.
And for males or male?
Actually, both, mostly female. For male condom, we got about 114 million pieces order out of 1 billion, but the actual supply was only 500, and we delivered all the quantity, entire 114. So 114 out of 500 delivered, we were about 20% of the male condom business there.
Okay. And sir, lastly, what would be the gross margin for male condoms and for female separately?
Male condom is about 15 to 20%, and female condom is between 45 to 50%. High margin.
Okay. So now with our current order book of 160 crore, out of which let's say 50-50 is male and female. So do you expect, these margins to again move up?
It depends on the competition. I would say the female condom margins would continue to remain between 45 and 50%. And male condom margins may come under some pressure.
So this is gross margin, right? Or EBITDA margin, sir? EBITDA margin. And why you feel, pressure in male condoms particularly?
The reason for that is that some companies, especially in China and Malaysia, they have expanded their production capacity tremendously, and they are very eager to dump the goods in the open market, even if they have to lower their selling price.
Okay. So lastly, in terms of, let's say, volume-wise, how big is this market, male condoms, sir? Globally?
You mean around the world or in India?
Around the world, sir. And how much
around
capacity?
The world, it's about, I would say, 30 to 35 billion pieces per year, including all the donor-funded condoms, all the tenders, government procurements, and in the private sector.
Okay. And how much China and Malaysia have expanded off late?
There are two factories. One has expanded over 100% in 2019, and Malaysian also has expanded over 60 to 70% of their capacity.
And in terms of pieces, if you can, quantify, sir?
Yeah, the Malaysian factory now claim they can produce 4 billion pieces per year. Okay. And Chinese, they are claiming about 2 billion.
Expanded capacity, sir?
Right.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akriti Kamdar from Samiksha Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello. So congratulations on a good set of numbers.
Thank you.
Just wanted to cross-check one thing. You mentioned earlier that you are expecting a growth of 15% over and above what we will do in FY20, which will be around 160 crores. And given the mix that we have, the peak quarterly revenue run rate will be about 40 CR. Now, the mix for 160 crore order books is about 50-50 for female condoms and male condoms. And what we had in the 9 months of FY20 was somewhere skewed towards female condoms, which was about 55-56%. So I would just like to understand, from where the delta of 15% revenue growth will come. Because we are not adding capacity. We are already operating at 99% capacity utilization. So from which area do you expect the 15% growth to come in?
Okay, the growth will come from switching the male condom capacity into female condom capacity. Like I mentioned earlier, if we get a higher quantity of female condom orders, both our top line and bottom line would improve.
So, sir, however, right now the 160 CR which we have, it is already 50-50, the split between female condoms and male condoms. So,
I'm sorry, that is the size of the order book.
Right.
We have 50-50 order book. Now,
right.
How much of actual orders we receive and we are able to dispatch, that would determine the relative percentage between male and female condoms.
Okay. So, sir, can you give a split of 160 CR between Brazil and South Africa?
Yeah, the Brazil order is about 62 CR, Brazil one. And South Africa is about, right now, 30 billion remaining because the new orders have not yet been announced. So that would increase by, say, February end.
And what would be the split between the Brazil and the South African order between male and female condoms, if we are aware of that?
Yeah. In Brazil, it's almost 100% female condoms because we have not entered into the male condom market last year. However, this year we are planning to bid for the male condom tenders. And in South Africa, female condom is about 20% of the total budgetary allocation for all condoms, mostly male condoms.
All right. And what is the total size of South African order, sir?
It's theoretically it is 100 billion pieces, and then the female condom is about 40 million pieces.
Per year.
Sorry?
Right. And so one more thing, since, we have a good chunk of order from Brazil and we had already seen that the receivable days had spiked in the Q2 because the Brazilian payment terms are a little unfavorable. So do you expect that we will close the year at a higher receivable days as it was then September end, which was around 130 days?
No, I think the third quarter receivable seems higher because they were closed for 1 month from December 15th to January 15th. So they could not process the payment.
The 133 days which I'm mentioning is the September quarter receivable days.
For Brazil?
No, the overall receivable days that we had for the company was around 133 days in the end of quarter 2, FY20.
That sounds quite a bit higher. I would say it should be closer to 90 days, not 133. I have not seen that number at all.
Okay, sir. So we'll take this offline later, but the receivable days were quite high, and the explanation that you had given at the end of Q2 was because of the Brazilian orders. So I wanted to understand whether that trend will continue at the end of the quarter 2 because our working capital would become quite stretched.
Yeah. No, actually the second quarter dispatches we did in Brazil, we did receive the payment in October and November. What is outstanding right now is what we dispatched in October and November and December.
Okay. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question is from the line of Vaibhav P. from HNI Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you. My question has been answered.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Ajinkya Mulai, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, congratulations, sir, for the good performance in the quarterly results.
Thank you.
Sir, I have few questions regarding the business that we are into. So I'll start with the forex risk involved, if any, and in which currency do we receive the payment? Is it the US dollar?
Yes, 100% of our export billings are done in US dollars, and we are getting all those payments also in US dollars, except that the currency depreciation, rupee being depreciated in general, gives us a slight advantage. We do report some currency exchange gains.
Okay. And so majority it's in US dollars, so that's the favorable situation for now, right?
Correct.
Okay. And if I'm correct, sir, between the years 2014 to 2016, if I'm correct, we had seen a great growth in the company, and also it was appreciated by the market participants. And then there was underperformance for several years. Any highlights of the growth then, sir? Can you point out that?
Well, back in FY2013-14, we had launched the then recently approved female condom by WHO. So based on that, we had 3 good years, I think 2014, 15 and 16. And then we slackened in 17 and 18 because of the market situation. The financing was not adequate to support the higher procurement. And now we are seeing the reverse trend, whereby funding is available and more demand is expected accordingly.
Okay. So, yeah, that was about WHO approvals that were received, and that were the orders, right? And is the momentum back now? The same
yes,
momentum?
This year the momentum seems to be back.
Okay, that's good news. So also about the advertising front, can we not do advertisement like other players in India? Can we not brand our product in India?
In an earlier question, reply to that, I mentioned that the cost of advertising is much higher than the extra margin we get in selling the branded condoms in India, male condom, that is.
Okay.
So,
and just to know, do we have a tie-up with Amazon or any of the e-commerce site for female condoms, if I'm correct?
Yes, we do. We have strong ties with Amazon and Flipkart. And we have started to pick up our online female condom sales.
Okay, and does it contribute to the major sale? How does it work out for the business?
Right now, the total volume on the online sales is in lakhs only. So
okay.
It's still a small segment of our overall revenue.
All right. And, sir, I just read, I'm not sure if this is correct. We have a US FDA 510K certificate. Is that correct?
Yeah, for male condom we do, and for female condom it is under process.
Okay, and apart from that, what other approvals do we have?
Well, we have the WHO approval, and we have the registration and approvals from several countries, like South Africa approval we have, Brazil we have, Kenya we do, India we have approvals. So each time we see a prospect in any of these countries, we try to get our products registered.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Omkar Kulkarni, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Given whatever you have spoken, it seems that you are very much bullish on the future. But I wanted to know about how is the growth happening in female versus male? How is the trajectory of the male contribution and female contribution, say, from 3 to 5 years from now? How is the market size and what's the on-ground situation? Is it more demand happening to female? Yeah, it can be seen through the numbers, but what is the ground reality?
Okay, the ground reality is that 80 to 85% of the demand is for male condoms, where the margins are limited to say 15% or so. And in terms of female condoms, the demand is improving, but as compared to male condoms, the volumes are still quite limited, although the profitability is much higher. So what I see over the next 3 to 5 years is that in terms of the top line, the contribution from female condoms should improve, and with that, the bottom line should also improve. However, the big uncertainty is the level of international funding from the worldwide institutions and from the national government budgetary allocation. If the funding is there, I think the demand for product is coming out because to prevent the unintended pregnancies and also to prevent the spread of sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, and especially from the low-income countries. There is a huge unmet demand for condoms.
Okay, so from the last 5 years trend, what has been a realization for female condoms? I mean, how it has moved up or like it has been stagnant? What is the situation?
No, I think the demand for female condom has moved up 10 to 15% over the last 5 years.
Sir, I'm talking about the realization part.
The realization is actually has improved per piece in spite of the competition because the two major players, they have a different model of female condoms, and each is pricing according to their cost of production.
Okay, and as the earlier participant said, why don't you hire a investor relation department who can advise on what can be done to increase the awareness about the company and how more institutional investor can be boarded on Cupid's journey, and how you can get a better visibility in the market and how better you can have the PE.
Yeah. No, I think that is an excellent suggestion, and we should start to do some of that immediately.
I mean, that would be great for the shareholders as well as promoters in their own capacity as well.
I agree, certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rangan Venki, an individual investor. Please go ahead. Rangan, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead. As there's no response from the current participant, we'll move on to the next. That is from the line of Keshavkar from Counter Cyclical Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, I wanted to understand so that looking at our great performance, and since we are the second largest female condom company, and you mentioned that there are only 2 or 3 in the world, So have you found any investor interest, like a strategic investor who wants to purchase you out, or wants to do a joint venture, or wants to become the co-promoter? On those lines, have you found any interest?
We haven't specifically looked at that way, but it certainly it would be a good idea to pursue this possibility.
Sir, so maybe offline we can talk about this.
We would be interested. So please, contact me, and we will take some practical steps to achieve that.
Okay, sir. And sir, lastly, sir, please remember about share buybacks. It is the best option for us.
In what way?
Sir, I'm saying instead of giving dividend, if you do a share buyback, then our share price will perform much more.
Yes, like one other investor earlier had suggested.
Yes, sir.
Buyback. No, that is certainly under our radar.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Ajinkya Malai from Cupid Limited. Please go ahead.
So sorry, sir, the call got dropped. Hello?
Sorry?
Earlier I was speaking to you, sir, about the US dollar and about the certification, sir, and the line got dropped.
Yes.
So just to confirm, sir, about the certification, so do we operate in euro?
We have some sales, but all the invoices are done in dollars.
Okay. And about the certification, sir, so we have the WHO approval, we have the ISO certification, and we have the US FDA 510K certificate for male condoms. Is that correct?
Correct. And in addition, we also have the CE mark for the European countries.
Okay. And, okay. So, just a question. Do we have any plans for Ethiopia? Because that's the fastest growing country in Africa as of now.
Yes. As a matter of fact, they are floating a tender pretty soon for male condoms, and we are in negotiation with a local partner, and hopefully we would be participating in the tender.
Okay. And so, is it as a continent? Is it Africa for now, or any other countries or continent are under any continent? I want to know majorly. We have our focus.
The demand for female condom due to HIV serious problems is mostly in sub-Sahara Africa. There are about 18 countries, all the way from Kenya and Nigeria through Mozambique and through Congo into Botswana and South Africa. There is no market as big as the sub-Sahara Africa. But there are some individual countries who have additional demand for female condoms. Of course, for male condoms, the market is fairly evenly distributed. Almost all the countries, they need to procure male condoms.
Okay. So, sir, any plans to set up production facilities or any tie-up for Africa?
Yes. We have a plan to set up a joint venture facility in South Africa, initially to start producing the female condoms there.
Okay. Any timeline, sir, with regards to this expansion as of now?
we are in the process of discussing our technical and financial proposal with the Department of Treasury and Department of Health in South Africa, and we hope to get some feedback by April 2020, and then it will take about 1 year to get the equipment going there and start manufacturing and realizing the revenues.
Okay, so that is a great news for the expansion with regards to South Africa. So, just few questions, sir. Just last two questions from my end. With regards to the product line, now I was just listening and we are talking only about male and female condoms. Is there any other product? Because I was going through the research, it says that we had some water-based lubricant and we had some probe. So just wanted to know what contribution does other products give to the revenues of the company?
That's about 3%. Water-based lubricant jelly and the hand sanitizers.
Okay. And sir, any plans for diversification of line of business? Like, are there any plans to get into chemicals or into real estate? Or we are focused only towards healthcare and condoms and female condoms, to be very specific for now?
Right now, we are concentrating on women's health and wellness areas, mostly related to contraceptives.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhiral Shah from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the follow-up question, sir. Sir, any plan for raising stake in the company? Because our promoter holding is almost 45%. So any plan to raise it further?
Not immediately, but we are always looking out for the possibility to improve on that percentage.
Because in the last 3 years, if I see, sir, our holding has came down by almost 3.5%.
Who does?
In last 3 years, our promoter holding has came down by almost 3.5%. That's why.
Yes. In the last 15 years, since we have held up these shares, there was only one sale of about 4 lakh shares. I believe that was in 2016. But other than that, we haven't sold any shares.
Okay. And sir, lastly, how big is the U.S. market for us?
We really don't have an estimate for that. But based on the figures reported by our competitor, female health company, they are doing about 20 to 25 million US dollars. Of course, they have been well established there for many years. So we have to start with maybe $2 to $5 million revenue in the first 12 months after we launch our product in 2021.
Okay. And so you just spoke about your JV facility in Africa. So what would be the capex requirement for that?
That's about 5 crores.
Okay, only 5 crore?
Yes, initially.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments.
I would like to thank all our employees and customers and most of all our shareholders who have shown faith in the management to carry out the business of Cupid Limited. We are always looking out for the interest of shareholders as a part of our long-term strategy. and we hope to we can count on all your support going forward. I'd like to thank everyone involved in organizing this conference, and good luck.
Thank you.